taking it all. Diving deep into topics, we'll rise or we'll fall. Every episode's a journey, a ride through the maze. Join us on this path, let's ignite the blaze. So grab your headphones tight, let's go for a ride. With every spin and twist, we'll cut and run and hide. The Prime Directive, where the laughter's a lie. Society's reflections, let's help each other thrive. Politics and culture, oh what a blend. Join on the journey and let's set the trend.
All right, so this topic we wanted to talk about this week, I think we want to start off with this concept
Let's do something simple.
What do you think? Something simple, something easy.
Yeah, something easy, something simple, something that is it's not going to
go down like a legalese type of quagmire and
none of that.
Require a lot of philosophical understanding or anything like that.
Precisely.
So, why don't we just start in then on birthright citizenship?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's come to our attention through various media outlets that our beloved leader has decided to apparently try to end birthright citizenship for people who are born on the soil of America, I guess. So that's going to be out you go. No longer can you expect to be a citizen in America if you're born on our within our borders. You're apparently something else in the mind of MAGA. Yeah, you're I don't know what you are. This is quite an interesting quagmire to go down. I'm unsure and unclear outside of just the most basic explanations that I can think of. What would lead someone to want to end the idea of citizenship? Where does it come from? What are your thoughts?
That's a wonderful question. I've grappled with that for the longest time. I struggle with the very concept of someone being a citizen of one country, but somehow that can be undone.
Yeah.
At what point do you have to take into consideration that you are just a citizen of the world, and that makes you part of where we live, this incredible spaceship that we call our planet,
the Earth? Sure, we're on a blue marble,
exactly,
in an ocean of darkness. Yeah, no, this is very problematic, right? Because for those of us that have studied our history books and whatnot, every time a society has started going down this particular road, Greece, Rome, Germany, 1930s, it raises questions of what does it really mean to be a citizen as an American? I mean, so maybe the people in the comments could throw in their ideas as well, like, what makes you a citizen? Is it just speaking the language? Do you have to own dogs? Stinky dogs, very stinky. Do you have to have a base knowledge system?
By the way,
right?
May I just interject with that? If you want to be a naturalized citizen, for example, in the United States, you have to go through a citizenship test.
Oh,
and
you had to go through this.
And what's interesting about that is, for the life of me, it was surprising to hear that some native-born individuals simply did not know some of those questions on that test.
Well, so give us an idea without giving away the whole test. Give us an idea, like when you take a birthright citizenship test. Say that 10 times. What do you have to answer? Like, how many branches of government are there?
Yes,
number
that's one of them.
Supreme Court justices.
Yes. Well, you actually have to know the name of the current president.
Okay.
Now, do keep in mind this was years and years and years ago. So if I don't get some of those down accurately,
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, who should be president? Yeah,
yeah. You have to know about the original colonies. You have to be able to name them. You have to
all 13. You have to do all 13.
All 13. Yeah. You have
I
to know
wonder,
all 13.
Those of you out there, without going to the interwebs, without going to the internet,
Interwebs, yes.
Could you name all 13 colonies? Could you?
See, that's that
I
was
mean,
something
I guess I
surprising.
could try here. I wonder if I can even pass this.
Oh my goodness.
Massachusetts, right? Rhode Island, Delaware, New York, Virginia. What am I at? 5?
5.
Oh no.
8 to go.
Starting to get kind of crazy. New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, right? So 8.
Mm-hmm.
New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
Connecticut. Did I get Connecticut? Did I get it?
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got 3 more to go. Is
3
that
more
right?
to go.
Son of a bitch. This is hard as hell.
You're there. Just 3
And I'm
more
a
to go.
teacher. Delaware, Rhode Island. I'm going down the coast. What am I forgetting? Pennsylvania, Virginia. The Carolinas. Is that right?
There you go.
North and South
I don't
Carolina.
think you actually named Virginia previously. So
West Virginia.
North.
Or West Virginia wasn't a state yet, right? Did it become a state later or not later?
No, I'm pretty sure.
No.
It did. No, I'm pretty sure it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. Is that
So
right? North
North and
Carolina,
South
South Carolina,
And that's
right?
more, yeah.
Because they were the slaves holding states, and maybe Georgia. Was Georgia in there yet or not?
See, now you got me confused.
Maybe not
I was
yet.
gonna say it's been years.
See, look
I
at
know.
this. So maybe
See,
you
this is
guys.
what
Could,
happens.
I know, right? And so I don't even know if I could pass this particular test right away, and especially just fill in the blank stuff. Yeesh. So I mean, what else gives you the right to call yourself an American?
Taxes.
Taxes. So you have to pay taxes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a basic tenet of you being a good neighbor.
Uh-huh.
You pay taxes. Why do you pay taxes? You pay taxes so that there is a common service that we all use, and we're going to contribute to this together.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it as part of our responsibility towards the union, towards our country.
The union.
Oh,
the
no.
evil union. You and your union and your union bosses. You're just all
My
Tony
union bosses.
You're
I was
Tony
gonna say.
Soprano.
Oh my goodness! I was going to say, are we going to go down the economic talk route way too early?
Probably too early. Probably too early for this.
way too early.
But,
Because we want to do something simple. Remember?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it's birthright citizenship. Very simple. What were some of the other questions that you had to answer?
Oh my goodness! Again, I don't recall.
And when did you
a
take
lot
this?
of
This was going to be like the early 2000s or 90s or
it was right around the mid 2000s.
mid 2000s.
Yeah, mid 2000s.
Okay, I wonder if it's the same.
But
Maybe they changed it.
I doubt that there were a lot of changes, previously that were included in that.
Yeah.
But it's certainly interesting. It's certainly interesting to consider that.
I just do wonder, like, how many Americans just take for granted. Like, we just think about, you just walk around. You never think about having to pull out your papers or your driver's license unless you get pulled over or something like that.
Right.
But you never really think about, having to perform, like actually having to prove your citizenship. And every society that seems to go down that road of, prove yourself and prove this and that, it's, I don't know. It raises in my mind. I've probably seen too many World War II specials, but I just start thinking about Nazi Germany. And my mind just drifts over there. I keep seeing like the Gestapo, the goose steppers walking around like, papers, please. I mean, what person is going to walk into a local VFW or concert venue or anything and be like, prove you're a citizen. Usually it's like driver's license or something like that. The missus and I,
just like your ID to kind of like proof of age or something like that.
But then does that prove that you're a good citizen? I guess then I go down this rabbit hole of like what makes a person a good citizen versus maybe just a not so great citizen. Do you have to do public service? You have to serve on a jury? Do you have to, like you said, taxes, but a percentage of your taxes, what should you have to define or give away? And how should that be defined as far as like, does this make you a better person? If you're rich and you give more money away, does it make you a better citizen?
No, but
if you're poor and you can't give as much money away, are you less of a citizen?
And I don't think, maybe I should clarify the whole aspect of taxes. I don't think taxes really imply that you are, that you are necessarily a citizen. But I think what it does do, it creates a certain sense of like buy-in.
Okay.
Because
you got skin in the game.
Yeah. It's like, hey, we're trying to do something together, something that is going to be important for all of us.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be able to fund the roads on my own. I'm not going to be able to have emergency services that are functional.
Pay for teachers,
pay for teachers, pay for a lot
firefighters,
of infrastructure,
police.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I think it does create a certain sense of buying. I think it's one of the most patriotic things that we can do as Americans is to actually pay our taxes.
Interesting. So I wonder how much taxes guys like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos and guys like that, how much taxes do you think they pay? Should we look it up?
I was going to say, according to the, I want to just make sure that I get this right. The, what is it?
Was it Axios or whatever?
No, not Axios. I was going to quote the Oracle from Omaha.
Oh, Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett, who actively said that, hey, look at me. Look at the sheer amount of money that I'm making, and my secretary is actually paying a higher percentage.
Yeah, not total, but percentage.
Total. Yeah, just a higher percentage, which is remarkable.
No, it's astounding.
It's astounding indeed.
Yeah, I know. I know I keep harping on this guy, but Scott Galloway has just a fantastic book called America in 100
Professor
Charts.
G.
Yeah. America in 100 Charts, and he just tracks like one of the charts in there. I forget which chapter that was, but he just shows like how the tax rate has changed over time. And then like in the 1950s, America had like it's something outrageous. It was like a 90%.
If memory serves, and I could be wrong. Please post in the comments below if you have found the actual number. But if I remember correctly, it was 91% under
taxes.
Eisenhower,
the
war hero, the person,
our commander-in-chief during World War II. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Supreme Allied Commander. Got to get that right. Supreme Allied Commander. Yeah.
Commander-in-Chief would be the president. Which would have been FDR.
That's he eventually did become Commander-in-Chief.
He did,
but he was first Supreme Allied Commander.
By the way, want to know something really fun about
some
that?
friends.
No, I'm getting all the attention.
Yeah.
I'm getting all the attention from these little muffins.
Yeah.
But if memory serves, interestingly enough, it was and again, if I'm wrong, please correct me. Don't mind being corrected. Don't love to learn.
Well, that's the Prime Directive.
That's the Prime Directive.
Yeah.
Being willing and open
to being corrected and educated and try to get your I's dotted and your T's crossed. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was the Democratic Party who was attempting to undermine Eisenhower in his election bid.
Yeah,
and it was the Republican Party,
right? Because they flipped. The Dixiecrats. No, so this is a pretty heavy topic. If you think in your own life, like what you've gone through, how you view just things that you take for granted.
Oh, every day. Everyday stuff.
I mean, the freedom to the freedom to just do what you want to do.
We're having a moment here in case you couldn't notice.
The freedom to sniff a butt.
It's the little things.
It's okay.
It's the little things.
Okay.
We're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you.
It's all right. This is Cadence and this is Squirt. They are our two little rescue dogs that we got from the National Mill Dog Rescue. And they are beloved, but boy, they are badly behaved. They are not. They're like little feral little animals, and grimy too. You're grimy.
No, we're not.
Uh-huh. But in the animal world, there is no such nonsense as a social creation, as a birthright, anything. You're born, and with whatever you're given, right? Your genetic makeup, nature gives you its best chances that you can probably get to survive as long as you can. And then that's the end of you, right? The old Hobbesian.
That's pretty much it.
Life is brutish, short, and painful, and then it's over.
Yeah.
We're the ones that have come up with the idea that, well, there's this artificial border that we're going to draw somewhere around the southern mountains of some place and over some seas or something, and then we're going to call that ours. And if you step over that border, we're going to kill you or deport you, or we're going to kick your ass out, or we're going to whatever. It's these artificial creations that humans come up with.
Oh, yeah. And it's interesting because when you listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about this, and he was mentioning how from outer space, again, we're looking at our spaceship, this planet. There are no borders.
Yeah, we're a big spherical ball.
Exactly.
Actually, not so big. We're kind of a small little,
comparatively speaking, right?
Blue planet that just floats in the middle of the cosmos. Maybe that's where we should start as a prime directive with everything, is knowing, having a perspective that we are just that little pale blue dot that Carl Sagan talks about.
Yes, in Cosmos.
Right.
Lovely series, by the way.
Because once you start from there, it gets pretty silly when you start thinking about some of the conversations we have about other things.
I know.
And how people get so caught up in this minutia of, in this case, this birthright stuff, defining what they think they know about somebody's inherent worth or inherent place in the universe. We don't know where we belong yet in the universe. I mean, we have a small idea, right, of like we're on the little Orion arm of the Milky Way galaxy that we haven't even, none of us have seen it because we're in it, but we're maybe like somewhere between 250 to 400 million stars in this one galaxy. And then there's trillions of galaxies, if not infinite. I mean, who knows? Because the physics keeps expanding every year. We have like the James Webb Telescope telling us more about what we don't know, what we think we knew, what we didn't know. So the idea of, where do we fit? What is your birthright? As an American, what does that mean? Like, so if you're a Native American, do you see yourself as part of a culture that has been around for a couple hundred years with the colonies, and that's the question that you have to answer? Or do you see yourself as going further back in time to the peoples, the ancient peoples, who we don't even have like written records about, who would have occupied the land for tens of thousands of years? And yes, we have evidence that there are people that have been here for about 25,000 years, if not longer.
Yeah.
And we have some pretty strong, compelling evidence. But what does it mean to be that? I don't know.
It's interesting. I've always thought of those questions, and there is a certain unifying bond, and that certain unifying bond is the fact that we are all part of this world, and to one extent or another, we have this capability to have a unified vision because we're just humans on this planet, but we spend so much time trying to figure out ways on how we can divide, subdivide, change, and implement rules that imply that now you no longer belong.
And if you think about it, that's the way power structures are set up, right? So there's the in and the out, and that way those who define who's in on the top there in the pyramid system, those who get to define that, they get to exclude others, right? They get to decide who gets the resources and when. Anybody who's got a job knows that, depending on who you ask, if you ask the right people, you suddenly get things right away. Things happen very quickly, right?
Yeah.
But if you're on the bottom rung of society, you don't have the connections, you don't have the know-how, you don't have the influence and the power. So as a citizen of the United States, I don't know. I mean, this is tough. I see us having a unified dream of sorts, of like a better future for like children and the community and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's just that dream takes such different flavors. It's such a different kaleidoscope, if you will, again, or color spectrum of possibility. I don't know. And then it's very, very troubling when I hear of any leader anywhere, regardless of what country you're in, America or otherwise, who wants to take away birthright citizenship.
There are plenty of countries in the world where that's not even a thing.
Yeah,
that's not even a thing. You will only become a citizen if, for example, your parents are from said country, where birthright citizenship does not exist.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about that, at least to me, is that aspect of, well, how does one deem someone to become a citizen at that particular point?
Yeah.
How do you implement that? Do you just have a history test? Is it all about, hey, you want to make sure that there's certain qualifying standards that would allow you to be a citizen? So again, do you pay taxes? As in, do you contribute to the society in which you live in?
Yeah,
and then you can go down the rabbit hole of, okay, so how do you then determine, well, if you want to be part of group X, what do you do to qualify for that? And I will always say, I am very proud to be an American.
Yeah.
And
me too.
I will always say that this was
even when we make
nation.
boneheaded decisions.
Hey,
in
you
elections.
know what? That's the one wonderful thing, right? It's that's what really does set us apart from many other places.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not mistake that for utilizing sort of measures of exclusion.
As we close the chapter, lend us your ear. The Prime Directive's calling, so let's pass a beer. The Prime Directive, where the laughter's alive. Society's reflections, let's help each other thrive. Politics and